Hey everybody, Rorree here with Totally Rorree International. Okay, so we are following the Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito situation. And I just wanted to give a quick update because I was chatting with a couple people in chat. Let me see. Kate Patton and who was the other gent? There was someone else. Kate Patton and Sam Hendo. All right. And so, Kate, okay, so we're talking about the whereabouts of Brian. Now, the first thing I wanted to say was I wanted to correct the date. The first date that I gave for when Gabby left the Earth plane was I accidentally said uh, October and it's August 26th. Okay. So that was the first thing I wanted to just update that. So we were chatting about where is Ryan? Where is he? They've been looking in Florida all through the forest and the park and all that good stuff for him. And to no avail. I think they're finding a bunch of lookalikes and things of that nature, but not him. So as I was chatting, we noticed, well, we got the information about Interstate or Highway 58, right? And so I did a Google search to see where this is, and that's when I saw that it wasn't in Florida, but it was in Chattanooga, and it kind of goes across. And so I looked for it once, maybe 2 or 3 times. I can't remember how many times I looked to see where it was. And I looked on different devices. And I recall like one device that I was on pulled up Chattanooga. Another device pulled up California. And like, I was like, California. And I kind of like dismissed it because it's so far from where he originated. But I had not talked to Spirit about it yet and asked any questions. I kind of just dismissed it. But as I was chatting, let me see who I was talking to that said, I think it was Kate. Kate said that there's a Days Inn at I-58 in Barstow. So I didn't know where Barstow was, so I did a search for Barstow, and Barstow is in California. So I was like, oh, maybe that's why California popped up on one of the searches. And like, as I was scrolling down, I couldn't find anything but California. And I was like, wait a minute, I thought I saw Chattanooga or something. So anyway, so I decided to connect with Spirit so I could find out some details, because I hadn't checked on it in a second. So here we go. Here are the updates. I asked, is Brian's body in California? And I got a yes. And I asked, when did he arrive in California? And I got September 29th. I asked, how did Brian get to California? And I got by a car. I asked, how long did it take him to get there? I got 5 days. I asked, is Brian near the Barstow Days Inn? And I got yes. I asked, did he stay at the Days Inn? And I got that he stayed at the Days Inn for 3 days. And then I was like, something just, so when I ask the questions, I'm like feeling like I'm getting messages intuitively, and then I just ask for verification on the answers. So this is kind of how the dialogue goes. And sometimes I just say, like, is there something that you want to share with me? And I did that tonight or this morning because it is 1:30 a.m. So I did do that, and I got some more information. I was like, oh my stars, so wait till you hear this. Okay, so And so I asked, did he stay in a hotel room? Because I kept hearing that wherever he was, that he stayed, like, he did not stay like in the hotel room. Because when I heard the hotel yesterday or whenever it was, I heard, like, I kind of heard that he stayed at the hotel, but it was kind of like ambiguous. So I was like, did he actually stay in a room? And so I asked that question today. Did he stay in a hotel room? I got no. So that's why that was a little foggy for me. Like, I'm not, I know he stayed at the hotel, but I'm feeling like he didn't really stay at the hotel, like he didn't check in. Okay. So I got that he parked near the hotel in a lot. That's what I got from him. And when I say him, I'm talking to the spirit guide that I am communicating with. Not, when I say him, I'm not talking about Brian. I'm not communicating with Brian because I was asked not to by spirit. Okay. And then, okay, so I said, what color was his vehicle? And I got dark blue. It's spelled dark blue. And then I said, okay, so do we know what model it is? So I asked, like, what's the model, if you know the model? And then it said Jeep model. So I was like, okay. And I think Jeep is like, is that the model or the make? I don't know. It said Jeep model. And then it started spelling COJ, and then I wasn't sure what was going on. And I was like, I am really, really confused because I do not know a word that starts with COJ. And I was just like, so I started talking and I was like, okay, I'm confused. Like, are you telling me the model of this Jeep? And he said no. And I was like, well, I don't understand what you're telling me. And so then I started asking, then that's when I went back and I started asking about the hotel room and where was he? You know, and that's when I got that he parked in a hotel, near the hotel in a lot. That's what it said. And then it spelled out to me on the tag is COJ. And then I was like, COJ, I know I saw that somewhere. And that was the Jeep model COJ. So he was already telling me the tags. And I thought he was spelling a word. So when I was getting these strange letters, it was because he was pointing to the numbers and not the letters. So I was like, I don't understand what this is. And I didn't ask yet what the tag was, but he was telling me what the tag. So here is the tag. So find the vehicle, because he's got to be near the vehicle. I didn't ask that question. I should have asked that question, right? If he's near, I'm sorry. Oh boy. And now I feel the headache coming back. Oh, I thought I got rid of that thing. All right. So anyway, so on the tag is COJ 769. COJ 769. Dark blue Jeep. Now, I don't know what kind of Jeep. I thought I was trying to get the kind of Jeep and I was getting the tags. I think that's pretty good, right? I should have asked what state the tags are from. Oh Lord, I'm tired. Okay, so y'all, it's 1:30 in the morning. Please contact maybe the authorities over there in Barstow, California, I guess. I guess I could as well contact Barstow police or something. I'll probably sleep and then wake up and do that if somebody hasn't already done it. All right. So if somebody is over there in California, if you're near Barstow, just call and ask them. I know they probably gonna think we're crazy. Oh boy, I'm so tired right now. Okay, so anyway, that's what I got. That's all I got. Well, what are the questions that I just came up with? what state the tags are from. That would have been an important question. What state the tags are from? Because like if you rent a car, sometimes you rent a vehicle and the tags could be from wherever, because they could have been dropping off a vehicle from somewhere else. And we don't know who owned this vehicle. Maybe it's Florida tags. I don't know. I will definitely ask. Okay, I'm hearing stuff, but I want to validate what I'm hearing for this. So I don't want to just come out with what I'm hearing first. Okay, I'm validated before I put it out there. So what state are the tags from? And I'm gonna just write what I'm hearing right now. Alrighty, and just to remind myself, because when I'm channeling information and stuff, I don't always retain the information, and so that's why I write it all down. And even from one day to the next, I might forget that I already asked a question, because I just don't recall when I am tapping into spirit sometimes. So I might ask the same questions over and over because I don't remember. So anyway, that's the question I'm going to ask. If you guys have any questions for spirit about this situation, if you all have any ideas, thoughts, questions, please share them, because they might spark a question for me, or your question might lead to the answer, and we might find Brian. This situation is horrible. I mean, I just all right. The other thing, someone mentioned, because I had mentioned MK Ultra with Brian, and someone, and one thing that I said something like, because I watched the recording, it said something like, the mother's father's friend or something programmed him or something. But I was like, I don't know if he actually programmed him, but I think he may have gotten him involved in those activities where he would be programmed, through the MK Ultra, mind control. And there was another thing, the monarch, the butterfly. I noticed that on her last post on Instagram was on August the 25th. So I saw that, and she was standing in front of this big old monarch butterfly. And I was like, wow. But then I got to, she was not MK Ultra, but it was very interesting that she was standing in front of this big old butterfly. That was very interesting to me. And I know she had a little pumpkin in her hand, but I didn't understand why she said Happy Halloween. I guess but it wasn't, I mean, this was August. So why was she saying Happy Halloween? Maybe that was an old picture. That was very strange. Very, very interesting. Interesting. I don't know. And then her mom, I guess this is something to find out. Her mother said that she received 2 strange text messages from her, and she didn't think they were from her. And I was curious as to when that was. And then somebody, and so if anybody knows this information, just put it in the chat. And then somebody said that they saw them at a restaurant, and they were fussing. No. He was fussing. Brian was fussing with the waitress, and then maybe a manager had to come out, and it had escalated so badly. And the person that was sharing this information shared that she was sitting right next to them, and she didn't realize at the time that that's who she was sitting next to until she saw all the reports. And she said that he was fussing and fussing and fussing and fussing nonstop, and like it would seem like it might be okay, and then he would come back and it was bad. And she was mentioning that Gabby was outside on the sidewalk, and she was crying and stuff, and felt really, really bad. And and then the young lady who was describing this scenario said that Brian was fussing for such a long time, and it was kind of ridiculous. And then when he went outside, then soon after, Gabby came back inside and said something to the, she apologized on his behalf. And she was like, maybe he was upset about that or something like that, you know. And I feel like that was close to maybe whenever the last time she was seen. So I don't know when that was. If anybody knows when that was, can you guys put that in the comment section as well? Because I'm just curious. Honestly, I'm just curious as to that. And then I looked at the timeline after watching the autopsy report. The timeline said that she passed, she left the Earth's plane. I forgot about words. She left the Earth's plane. I think they said 2 to 3 weeks or 3 to 4 weeks. I can't remember at this time. But whatever dates they said, I think the dates that I looked at was, when was this? August? Okay. Okay, so I think she was found on September something. I don't remember. One day in September, the 19th, maybe. And then it was 1, 2, 3 weeks. Maybe it was 3 to 4 weeks, maybe. Okay, so, but I looked at the calendar and the time frame would have been like between the 22nd and the 29th. And I got that she left the Earth's plane on the 26th. So that's why I'm curious to see when that person saw them at the restaurant. I'm curious as to when that was. Anyway, this is a very terrible and interesting scenario. It's interesting that I'm I'm being pulled into these kind of stories now. That's very interesting to me. And my spirit guide told me later when I was asking, like, how did this find me? Like about another family, the Hart family, the Hart children. And I was like, how did this find me? And my spirit guide said he brought it to me to help. I think I mentioned that on the heart video. The heart video was longer because I channeled during the video. It was so emotional. Oh my stars. I think I've cried a number of times. And I don't know. I know I was triggered because, you know, I used to be like a child welfare social worker back in the day, and it was always heart-wrenching for me because I guess now, because, you know, I know now that I'm empathic, that's one of my highest abilities, but um it used to just be too much, you know, to look at that, look at the abuse and neglect. It would be too much. And when I did that kind of work, I didn't have children. So it was like, wow, you guys are doing this to your kids. And like, I would love to have a child. This is back then. And, you know, I was like, it just, it tormented me. So that Heart family video, woo! So I think I teared up so many times because it was like, it was just so much. Like just to hear their story. And then for Hannah, one of the kids, to come talk to me. And I was just like, who is this? You know, and it was her. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, you know, for what has happened. You know, I just felt so bad for her, you know, to have experienced that. And then to see that she's kind of watching over her brother and wants help for him. And I, you know, I pray. I'm going to do some channeling for him to, I'm going to see if I can get some more specific details because I got the city and state, but I didn't get like an address or location or anything like that. So Um, yeah, I'm going to work on that one. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for all of your help. Thank you for you guys in the chat. This has been something, you know. And please, if you come up with anything, I think there's another intuitive in the chat. So if you come up with something, let me know what you come up with. Maybe collectively we can find Brian, you know. Anyway, and like give some peace to all the families so this can be put to rest and the families can really work on their healing, both families, because this is a serious tragedy, you know. Whoo-wee. Anyway, thank you all. Thank you, God. Thank you, my guides and my angels. You know, thank you, my guide who has been providing me with the information for these and who's kind of putting me in the middle of all this. Thank you, even though it's pretty special. I'm going to get ready for bed now. I will talk to you. I'll see you on the next one. And yes, thank you, Jelani Day. I think that's going to be the next channel message because that was the next message that was brought to me. All right. I will talk to you guys soon. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Oh.